I believe that there's always going to be that true grit person that enjoys building stuff with their hands.
What's up, guys? This is Brad at Hourglass Fab. Welcome to another episode of Weekends Away with Brad, sponsored by weldporn.com. Today we're in Janesville, California, talking with Mark Winchester. Mark is an extremely talented welder fabricator who does a lot of aluminum welding, valve covers, oil pans, fuel cells, stuff like that. It's all extremely impressive, top-notch, high-quality work, the best of the best. Today we're going to pick Mark's brain a little bit and kind of just see what goes on in the shop. So Mark, what started Winchester Metal Works for you? I mean, what was it when you said, I'm done working for an employer and I'm going to be my own?
So basically, while I was employed by somebody, I kind of started to lose the sight of why I enjoyed welding so much, and I decided to buy my own welder. What musician doesn't have their own instrument? What chef doesn't have their own knife? It takes time. It didn't happen for me overnight, and I don't know anyone else that it happened overnight for. You got to put the time in, and you got to want it. I saw someone better than me, and I was like, I got to be better than them. Like it was a natural competition, to push myself. A lot of people, they'd see, these welds on Instagram, and they're inspired, but they see it and they get upset and discouraged because they struggle. They don't know how to get there. For those people that are stuck in a rut and they don't know how to push themselves outside of the rut that they're stuck in, don't know how to get better, there's a lot of information out there now that is easily obtainable that 15, 20 years ago wasn't there. Realistically, the main reason why I started Winchester Metal Works was to be able to spend more time with my family. I really had a passion for building things and creating things, and working for someone, it kind of numbed my creativity because it was their vision and their creativity, and I just worked for them and made their dream happen.
So what drives you on a daily basis to always advance and progress in your craft?
I think really the passion behind what I do and how I feel about what I do really pushes me to be better every day and do my best every day. Number one, is my family, and doing the best I can for them is really important to me.
So I know there's a really long history you have in welding, but what I'm curious about is where did you get that precision welding experience? Where did you really start to dial in your aluminum TIG welding?
I got a job working for a company that did reconnaissance and assault boats for the Navy and Coast Guard. And it was a high pace, high precision shop. And it really forced me to push myself to that next level and obtain all the knowledge possible, for setting the machine, different material fit ups. It really pushed me and my passion to the next level.
So would you say that the number one thing when it comes to gas tungsten arc welding and aluminum would be dialing in your settings, making sure all of your boxes are checked when it comes to your settings, and really having a good setup? Is that the majority of the work that goes into it?
I believe that on the AC side, having a really good machine setup and knowing when to make changes and why to make changes, that's the most important part of welding on AC.
So what machine are you running?
I run a HTP 221. It's been a great machine. I really enjoy, how simple the platform is to, change the settings and, make that perfect weld.
Helium or no helium?
I'm a helium guy. Being able to introduce helium into the argon really accelerates the puddle flow, and I know it's not cheap to, buy helium. It pays for itself to be able to, increase my travel speed and my penetration all at the same time. So, yeah, helium.
What tungsten do you run and why?
Weld porn multi-mix, the pink tip tungsten. The reason for this is going from AC and DC. This one that I choose, it's good on both. It holds a tip on AC, when you're doing really thin sheet metal and you want a really narrow arc and keep that arc focused. It holds the tip really well on AC and DC, so I prefer that.
Gas lens on aluminum or standard cup on aluminum, and why?
There's a million different ways to skin a cat. Some people say, gas lens suits their welding style better than a standard cup, whatever. But, technically speaking, running a gas lens on aluminum is not necessary, because the gas lens is basically designed to create a slow controlled blanket of gas for reactive metals, titanium, stainless, things like that, where you kind of need that really unturbulated gas flow. Because when you have turbulated gas, it pulls in atmosphere, and atmosphere is contamination to the weld. On AC, running a gas lens on aluminum, it's non-reactive material, so really you only need gas coverage when the puddle is molten. What happens when you run a gas lens is the alternating arc on AC follows the gas path.
So you would say if you were running a standard cup versus a gas lens setup, that your cup size and gas flow are going to directly relate to your oxide cleaning line width.
Correct. And the arc stability as well. If you run too big of a cup, the arc stability kind of goes out the window. Choosing the cup size really depends on the size of the weld you're trying to achieve. So too big of a cup, you're gonna get arc flutter, and the arc's gonna go from left to right constantly, and you're gonna struggle with getting heat input outside of the weld. So basically, choosing the right cup for the right weld is important.
What do you think the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to welding aluminum is?
Basically, a lot of people, they start learning TIG welding DC. Torch angle, tungsten stick out, the way you feed the filler. A lot of these things make it hard for someone that learned all these DC techniques to bring that same technique over to the AC side, and a lot of those techniques will make it difficult and people will struggle. Mainly torch angle. Right out of the gate, if you got too much torch angle and you go to introduce the filler, you're gonna start melting the filler before you ever get it to the puddle.
You can definitely tell how long you've been doing this and how many tips and tricks you've picked up,
Yeah. That's basically it. I've done it for a long time at a precision level, and it's kind of ingrained in me. You know?
Definitely.
So
I think anybody who does something for that long and actually has passion and heart behind it will definitely turn into, someone like you.
Yeah, that's basically what it boils down to. If you have the heart and the drive to push yourself to that next level, it's kind of inevitable that you're gonna be really good at what you do.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's always nice seeing you, Mark, and I appreciate you for letting us come out here and film the process behind the products you offer and just show everybody a little bit more about yourself to kind of reveal who Mark Winchester is.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and hearing my story. It was really nice having you, and I'd like to do it again sometime.